Hello there, and welcome back to our 31 Days of Calming Tips. I'm your host, Karin Maestro, health and calmness coach, breast cancer, BRCA2 thriver. And I specialize in helping breast cancer survivors to get their energy and life back so that they can actually start to live fully the life that they fought so hard for. Right? Yeah. Enjoy those magical moments. So, today we're talking about decluttering to calm your mind, calm your body, calm your soul. And there have been numerous studies done that link a cluttered environment and how we feel stress. Okay. Now, if you can relate to this, I'm first of all going to ask you to be really kind to yourself today and to know that you're a human and sometimes things get cluttered. And I can remember as I was going through my breast cancer surgeries and everything that I went through, I can remember like seeing things, papers in the mail piling up, and I didn't have the energy or the motivation to deal with them. Same thing with, certain corners of the house. There might be laundry. As amazing as my husband was, and he took care of so many things, there were also some things that he didn't. And you know what? It wasn't a big deal, right? But things got out of a place that they would normally be when I'm on par, when I'm feeling good and able to take care of things in our house, right? So sometimes in life, areas of our house become cluttered. And I want you to just think about, if your home is cluttered, how is it making you feel? Does it make you feel calm? Or does it make you feel stressed out? And you know the answer already, right? But here's the thing. Why does clutter make us feel overwhelmed and stressed out? Right? Why does that even happen? You might be asking. Well, it's because of something called open loops. You're like, where are you going with this, Karin? What's this about? Right? Well, open loops. I'm going to go a little bit neurosciencey, but not too geeking out here. So don't worry, okay? But just I want to explain this to you. Open loops are thoughts that we have in our mind that are tasks that are not completed. So you can kind of think of it like your mental to-do list, right? And it might sound something like, oh, I have to do that. Oh, I need to take care of that. Oh, I really should do that, right? I mean, do you notice you experience any of those, right? And the more that we have clutter, the more open loops that we have, because we are seeing, and this is a neuroscience thing. So what our eyes are seeing, these are then signals that it's sending to our brain. And our brain is thinking about these things and translating these things as more things on that mental to-do list. And you may be, oh, I need to go through the mail. Oh, I need to pay the bills. Oh, I need to take care of that pile of laundry. Oh, I really have to take care of that. And it just feels so big and so overwhelming and so much that sometimes we just don't even know where to start. Again, I want you to be curious here. I just want you to observe how clutter can make you feel. I don't want you to beat yourself up. I don't want you to say, oh, come on, I should have done that by now. None of that. None of that. It doesn't help, right? It just makes us feel worse and want to go into a different room and hide. Or maybe just throw everything, sweep it off the counter and just throw it on the floor, right? I mean, it depends on what your response is, but it doesn't typically make us feel good. So I wanted to share just a few practical tips for organizing spaces. Okay, just a few. And if any of you want to explore decluttering more, I've interviewed Susanna Kay a couple of times, and I love her methodologies. I love the way that she handles decluttering. And I think she's fantastic. So if you're not going to go complete Marie Kondo, right, then think about Susanna Kay. She's a friend, like I said, and I've interviewed her a couple of times. And she looks at the psychology of decluttering too. So very, very cool. I'll make sure that I've got a link to her website, with this episode. So what I think, and this was something that I got from Susanna too, is when we look at the whole picture, say that we're, looking at our mail, for example, we're looking at the whole picture and it just feels too much and too overwhelming, right? Is thinking about choosing one space, just one. I love personally, I put it on my calendar and I say, okay, this is when I'm going to do it. And I don't give myself any excuses. I really make sure that I want to do it because I love the feeling of calm when it's done. Okay. I know for me, I don't function well in clutter. I function well and I mean, don't get me wrong, our house is not spotless. It's lived in, but I do not do well with clutter. So I don't do well when there are piles of things that I know that need to be tended to, because they create open loops. I want to, I need to, I have to, I should. So looking at one specific area and just setting yourself a timer, it could be 10 minutes. And just for 10 minutes, you sit there and you go through it. And with paperwork especially, I think it's important to set categories. So get yourself some cardboard boxes, or I don't like plastic in our house, so or you could just do piles on the floor. It doesn't matter if it's an area that isn't walked in a lot. You want a to-do pile. You want a to-file pile. You want a shredding pile and a recycling pile. So 4 piles. And if you go through each item and you put it where it needs to go. Now your shredding pile, then you get to set another time and just sit there and go through the shredding. The recycling can just go out in the recycling, right? The filing, you're creating another pile of stuff that needs to be filed, but you know that there's nothing important there that needs to be taken care of. So it closes that loop. It closes that loop because now you know that these just need to be filed. And then you've got your to-do pile. And I always every day set myself 3 tasks to get done in a day. I do the one I like the least first, because then it's done and I'm not thinking about it all day. I'm not procrastinating on it. It's just done. Okay, so think about going through these areas of your home that might be causing you stress and anxiety and saying, how do I do it? How can I do this, and break it down into smaller steps? And I know that the thought, it's not enough, but there's so much more. I'm never going to get this done. Why did I let it get like this? I know these thoughts might creep in. Just don't own them. That's negative Nancy, and she's trying to make you feel bad. And guess what? You don't need to listen to her. You don't need to listen to her. She doesn't serve you. She doesn't help you. She makes you feel stressed out and anxious and overwhelmed, which is the opposite of how you want to feel. So know when you want to feel calm, you're not listening to her. She's not serving you. Bring in positive Pamela, your biggest cheerleader. She's cheering you on, saying, come on, you can do this for 10 minutes. And then another day for 10 minutes and another day for 10 minutes. And guess what? Before you know it, you are seeing the results that you want. And you get to feel proud of yourself for taking action, for doing something. And then what happens? You're feeling calmer, right? You're feeling less stressed, less worried that there's something somewhere that you need to take care of that you can't find. You know where everything is. And then you get to set up your space. I always say what I love is when we walk in our home, for our home to feel like a hug, right? And so what can you do? It doesn't all automatically get done. Again, no magic wand. I wish there was. But what can you do to start making areas of your home feel like a hug? Just as I love Mel Robbins, and one of her ways of doing things that she doesn't want to do is she just says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get up and you do it no matter what, whether it's getting out of bed, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's tidying an area on your counter, cleaning out the junk drawer, whatever it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Pick up the phone, make that phone call you've been putting off, because the calm that you feel afterwards is fabulous. Why? Because it closes those open loops. You get to check the box. And when we check the boxes of those those things on our mental to-do list, makes us feel good, right? So your calming action of the day, I think you could probably imagine what it might be, is to declutter just one area of either your home or your workspace within the next week. Put it on your calendar. Remember Mel's saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. And set a timer for 10, 15 minutes and just do what you can get done in that time frame, right? You would sit down very easily and scroll social media for 10 or 15 minutes. You would binge watch Netflix for 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe you would, maybe you can't stop watching the news right now, which is adding to anxiety for sure. But you have that 10 or 15 minutes. You're choosing right now and prioritizing something different. Okay, I know that you've got this. I know that you've got this. All you have to do is make that decision and do it. Okay. All right. So let's end up today with our left hand over our heart, our right hand on top, and speak to yourself like you're speaking to your 10-year-old self, right? Your 10-year-old self. What does she need to hear today? Repeat after me, either out loud or in your head. You are loved. You are safe. I've got you. I love you. Have a beautiful, calm day. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.